Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's vlog I'm going to be sharing my ownership experience of the Polo GT TDI. This car is about to hit 1 lakh kilometers. You can see the odo reading. It reads 99,965 kilometers and 35 kilometers to go. So I'm here at Nice Road. So until the car hits 1 lakh kilometers, I'm just going to be circling around Nice Road, and once it does hit 1 lakh, I'm going to be pulling over the car and I'll be sharing my ownership experience with you guys. It's been almost 8 years, and it's been a joyful experience because this car has put a smile on my face every time I have driven it, and I absolutely love this car. I'm going to be sharing the positives and negatives of this car, mostly positives because the negatives are very few. So please stay tuned. I will get back to you guys once the car hits 1 lakh kilometers.
like
8 years.
8 years finally.
Wow.
Why the Polo GT TDI?
So the year was 2014, and we had a Santro GLS back then, and we were looking for an upgrade. And my first option was not the Polo GT TDI. I wanted to buy a second-hand CDI or a Honda Civic, but my family never agreed to it because these cars were good, but they had really bad fuel economy, and fuel economy was also one of the most important point to consider while buying a new car. And so with those two cars gone, we never had a lot of options in the hatchback segment as well. We had the Ford Figo, but I never liked the styling of the Ford Figo, and the Polo was one of my favorite cars. And at the same time, Volkswagen announced the new 1.5 TDIs, and that is why I got this. Yes, there was also an option of going for the Polo GT TSI, but then again I never wanted to go for the automatic because I'm a driving enthusiast, and so I wanted to have a manual, and that is why I ended up with the Polo GT TDI.
How reliable is VW diesel engine?
So I had the very same question when I bought the Polo back in 2014. Before buying the car, I did my homework, I did my research, I inquired with a lot of mechanics and VW diesel car owners, and they all assured me that if I took care of the car in terms of service, regular service, then the car would just work fine. Until 2 lakh kilometers there would be no issues. And I'm doing the same thing every year. I without fail change the oil at 15,000 or 14,000 kilometers, and at 7,500 kilometers I make sure to update the engine oil, because diesel engines tend to drink a bit of oil, and so I make sure that the right amount of oil is always there in the engine. And apart from this, all the wear and tear parts have been replaced at regular intervals. And with all this maintenance, this car has never given me any trouble so far, and has never left me stranded anywhere. So far the experience is very good, and this diesel engine is one of the best diesel engines that you can buy, only because it is so punchy, so powerful, and has a good mileage as well. Mileage in the sense fuel economy as well. And the tuner support is also out there. You can modify your car, you can get a stage 1 remap, or you can change the intercooler or the turbo, and you can push the car up to 200 bhp without any issues. Race Concepts have done it, and the car is working perfectly fine. So I mean, this is an excellent engine, and if you are planning to go for a second-hand VW diesel engine, Make sure that the service records are all perfect. Everything is taken care of. All the wear and tear parts have been taken care of at regular intervals. And if it is kept well, then you can definitely go for it.
Any modifications done to this car?
So as you all know that Polos are known for modifications, be it cosmetic or in terms of engine. And since I'm an enthusiast, I wanted something more out of the stock engine. So I have got a stage 1 remap on this car, and it is from Tunotronics. And now after the remap, the car produces about 135 bhp and 320 Newton meters of torque. And after the remap, it has been excellent to drive. This car is a torque monster. Now 320 Newton meters of torque is something that you get from a Mahindra Scorpio, and people say that Mahindra Scorpio has a very good pickup. Now if you put it in comparison to such a small car, this car only weighs 1,200 kgs. And for 1,200 kgs, 320 Newton meters of torque is just too much. So the moment you release the clutch, the car just pulls forward, even though if the car is fully loaded, and overtakes are no problem at all. This car is basically a torque monster, and on the highways it is so much fun, especially if you're driving alone, and with a better power to weight ratio without any other passengers in the car. This car just flies. And there are multiple times in the highways where I have done highway battles with cars that are more expensive than this car, at least 2 or 3 times more expensive, and this car has absolutely destroyed those cars. And so that is the only modification right now. And further modifications, I'm planning to upgrade the brakes, because the brake is just not effective enough after a few kilometers of enthusiastic driving. So the brake tends to fade early. The feel is gone. So I'm planning to upgrade the brakes, and also the suspension setup also has to change, because the car is stable at high speeds, but during the corner there's a slight bit of body roll. That is understandable, because this car is tuned for both city usage and the highway usage. So I also am planning to upgrade the suspension and brakes in the future.
Anything else?
So there's nothing much to say. I'm really happy with my car. And this car, a lot of people say that German cars are expensive to maintain. The service costs are expensive. Yes, it is slightly expensive than the Japanese cars, but I would like to point to one thing. This car, even with the stage 1 remap, even after 8 years and 1 lakh kilometers, it's still running on the stock clutch, and the mechanic says it's completely fine. So I'm pretty sure that no Japanese car will run, for maybe a Toyota as an exception, but other hatchbacks, I don't think any other Japanese hatchback. I'm mainly comparing it to the Maruti Suzuki Swift or the Ford Figo or any other Korean hatchback like the i20. I don't think no car is going to run 1 lakh kilometers without changing the clutch. And even the interiors, even after 8 years, there is no rattling, there's no squeaking. It is as good as it is when I first bought it. It is pin drop silence when you're driving the car on the highways, and that speaks volumes about the Volkswagen build quality. So I recommend, see, if it's not the diesel, or if you're even planning to buy a brand new Volkswagen product, maybe the Taygun or the Virtus or the Skoda Slavia, please go for it. Yes, it might be 3 or 4 or 5 lakh rupees more expensive than other cars, but it is completely worth it in the long run. They're just built like tanks, and I would absolutely any day recommend German cars over other Japanese cars or Korean cars. So that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Today has been a very special day, because out of all the vehicles that I've owned in my life, this is the first vehicle that has done 1 lakh kilometers, and I'm pretty much happy about it. And thank you so much for watching this video, and please do like, share and subscribe if you like the content. And that's about it, guys. Thank you so much.